All right. So I hope to God this isn't true. Take this for whatever way that you may. I say this all the time when we talk about we got this covered. The reason why I think it's they've been ahead of some stories, right? Some things have become true that they leaked and said, hey, our sources said, and some have yet to be revealed. So you can take this in whatever way that you may. Quite often, what I think this is that they send this, Marvel, Disney themselves sends a lot of this as like a test to see like how the public is going to respond to it. So it's like you run it up to change. Sports teams do this all the time. They run up these, hey, so-and-so's after this player, right? And they had that leak because they allowed it to leak to see how the fan base would react. Hopefully this is not going to become true. I beg of them to not make it true. Marvel planning to give Natalie Portman's Thor. That sounds so stupid. Natalie Portman's Thor. Okay. Her own trilogy. So this is interesting because this looks so stupid. But the reason it's interesting is because when they talked about Love and Thunder, a lot of us were under the impression that the movie was going to be about Jane. And then I thought they came back out and said, if I'm not mistaken, the director said, no, she appears as Thor, but don't get it wrong. It's still Thor's movie. It's about him, and it will be. But some signs point to the Thor mantle, which shouldn't be a mantle at all. Again, I'm not going to spend all of this time going through what I've already talked about in numerous videos. Jane Foster is one of the worst characters out right now, who's hijacking in the comics everybody's title. Right now, she's Valkyrie. And they shouldn't do this. It's almost like, look, there's one character that I think a lot of people have thought has crossed over into a live action film and adaptation. And a lot of us, at least early on, maybe not going into Endgame, but a lot earlier on, old fans, new fans, thought positively about Thor. Thought Chris Hemsworth has done a solid job of him. Don't ruin that whole idea, which you can argue they have if you think Fat Thor was an abomination. But don't ruin that just for the sake of throwing out this bone and we get tokenized Thor and Jane Foster's Thor, which doesn't make any sense still to this day that they allowed that to happen for an extended period of time. But I'm interested to see how this works. But I hope that it doesn't go to the point to where it's a trilogy. Because we know now that she's going to appear. That's not even up for dispute. But hopefully we're not about to get numerous movies, another decade of this with numerous movies and her having her own sort of, oh, hey, look at me, I'm Thor. Like, at the very least, I hated that they brought her in, but at the very least, what they could have did, what they should do, just limit it to her appearing and not appearing anymore. Just like make it a one-off. Okay, we made this happen, but bam, we're out of here. I know that isn't going to happen. I'm just saying that's the best case scenario. But God, can we not agree that having Natalie Portman's Jane Foster's Thor for 3 movies is a terrible idea if the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be getting behind this character like that, going into like newer Avengers. Like, that's a terrible idea. It's just a terrible idea. So I beg of you, Marvel, and it seems like you do a lot of things out of spite. It's almost like Kevin Feige watches my video and says, whatever he says we shouldn't do, we're going to do that. So if it happens, I jinxed it. I'm going to take credit for it. So if y'all want to blame somebody else, can all pile up on me. Say, dang it, Eric, It's on you. You made this happen because they do it out of spite. Because that's what it feels like. Even in the comic books, I'm like, man, this shouldn't happen. And then it happens, right? So I'm like, hopefully Kevin Feige isn't watching my videos. Probably not. But hopefully he's not like, oh, that's what he doesn't like. Watch this. Gives Jay Foster 3 movies. Headliners, too. God, like, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen.